Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate. He's on the East Coast, rolling separate. One more time, should be back together next week, running at the same exact time. But we still have plenty of player props here in this episode for you. Also got best bets up in the other one, so make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Don't miss any of the action we're bringing you each and every weekday this season. We're going to go ahead and get right into Nate's first player prop here, so let's kick it off with his first bet.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. I've done pretty well on the player props here, picking solo the last 2 days. Gone 4-0, trying to keep that going here. But I got a two-part option here because it's March basketball. The Cavs are on a back-to-back. So Donovan Mitchell under 9.5 rebounds and assists here at the hosting the Pistons, right? But if he doesn't play, or you think he's not going to play, take Evan Mobley over 30.5 PRA. Donnie is coming off a nice slump buster against the Spurs when he had 3 days rest. Wouldn't be surprised if now the Cavs flip that, give him the rest when Mobley sat last night. And if he does play, though, Donnie's gone under this number in 3 of his last 4 on back-to-backs. Averages just 7.7 RA in 12 back-to-backs on the season. Plays only 31 minutes a game. And he's even gone under this number in 4 of his last 5 on normal rest, 1 day's rest. You've seen him kind of wear down last year. I mean, when he was carrying an MVP-level usage, but in March, he only shot 29% from the field, only could grab 2.5 rebounds per game in March 2024. And, he's handled less usage this year, but still has really struggled in March. Struggled to score the basketball with 107 offensive rating. That has at times bled into his peripheral stats, but more importantly, it's a tough matchup. Detroit held him to 2 rebounds, 5.5 assists in 2 meetings this year. They allow the fewest assists per game in March and fewest to shooting guards on the season. And with Mobley back, we would assume after he rested last night, that's a huge hit in terms of Donnie's playmaking and rebounding. He goes from 12.3 rebounds assists without Mobley, 9 games this year, 41 PRA, down to 9 RA or 8.9 with 32 PRA. So you could fade the 33.5 PRA here, or you could just flip that and look at Mobley, who in 7 without Donnie, averaging 22.5, 10, and 4, including a 39-7 game against Detroit, who doesn't, they struggle against the kind of versatile power forward that Mobley is. I would expect Jared Allen also to take a step back here on a back-to-back. He's historically done so, and he just had a huge game against the Spurs, who don't trot out of center, and now he's got to deal with Durant while he's out there. So maybe Mobley even plays some small ball 5 and gets more boards in that regard. But he's averages 4 more minutes per game when Donnie sits, and that leads to 7 more PRA, actually clearing this number on average by 6 in terms of the PRA. So we look at the Mobley over here and the Donnie under, although I think there's a pretty good chance Donnie just doesn't play. So you can go ahead and get that early then on the Mobley stuff.
First player prop I'm looking at here is in the Hornets game against the Raptors, and we've got Miles Bridges running things for the Hornets without LaMelo Ball. So we're going to go over on the 11.5 rebounds and assists combined for Bridges there. That should still get you some plus money on FanDuel and a couple other spots. But this is something I continue to go back to whenever Bridges is in without LaMelo Ball, even if Mark Williams is in. Actually, almost especially if Mark Williams is in. We love this stuff for him. He's averaging 15 rebounds and assists combined in the games he's played without LaMelo Ball and with Mark Will in those games as well. He's averaging about 15 rebounds and assists over an 8 of 9. He's looking at 10 potential assists per game, 14 rebound chances per game. So about 50% of those, and we're looking at about 12 or 13 just alone in terms of the boards and the dimes there. Averaging 5.4 assists per game and 9.7 rebounds per game in those 9 games as well. And like I said, put them together, you get a better hit rate at 8 of 9. The assists and the rebounds individually have hit at about 7 of 9 on the season for him when he's playing without LaMelo, with Mark Williams. And even when he's played in this situation where he's on court in a game that maybe LaMelo is active, but he's off the floor and he's on floor with Mark Will, right? Now we're talking about Bridges looking at about 14 rebounds and assists per 36 minutes. And he's playing 36 minutes in these situations with all of the minutes without LaMelo, some of them with Mark Will, some of them without, but this is just a wonderful bet against a Raptors team that's going to be playing their backups just as much as their starters. And Miles Bridges is going to be one of the better players on the court at all times as a result. So really love how much his usage goes up, how much he has the ball in his hands, the assists and the boards in this one. Very, very good look for Miles.
Yes, and give me Jakob Poeltl over 21.5 points, rebounds to close it out here. Little scary because it's the Raptors and they tend to bench people who play well. But Poeltl, when he's been out there, has been pretty consistently getting half the game, 24, 26 minutes, Orlando Robinson coming off a big game 2 nights ago where Pirtle sat. Maybe they split the game. Maybe Orlando doesn't play quite as much. I mean, Pirtle's only played 2 games in the last 12 days, and he's gone over this comfortably in both of them. He's been off since Monday, since he beat down the Wizards with 21-11, and we would have thought that was a tank versus tank matchup. The Raptors, I think 3 straight where it looked like two tanking teams have been like, whatever, we'll come out, we'll get the win. And so, yep, if they're allowing Pirtle to go out there and perform, I mean, he certainly has an advantage in this matchup against Charlotte and Mark Williams, who are offering a red carpet to the rim at times. Their last 15 games, second most points per game to centers. On the road this month, they're allowing opponents to shoot 50% from the field. They're giving up 12.5 OREBs per game. Pirtle could certainly eat on the offensive glass here. He did drop 20-16 in one of the first games of the season against these Hornets when they had a little bit more depth down low, to say the least. Last March, the flip side of that, he only played 15 minutes when the Raptors were in total tank to try to save their draft pick. They don't have a huge incentive to tank here. With the draft lottery odds flattened, they're in the lottery. They don't need to lose every single game. And Charlotte, with no LaMelo, with also several other key offensive guys, should be missing plenty of shots and not really giving it a huge go here. We do know the Raptors are going to rest R.J. Barrett. Chris Boucher has an illness, and Agbaji is out, so that does clear the way for a little more playing time for Pirtle. You look without RJ since the start of January, averages 15.5 points a game, and he 130 offensive rating, and he's gone over this in 6 of 7 in March, 17.3 points in just 24 minutes per game. He's got a healthy usage rate, 23%, and also grabbing 8 boards per game, which I think could definitely go up here against Charlotte, just because they're going to miss some shots.
Got to go to the other Bridges now as well. Going to go with Mikal on the assists alone. I'm actually okay if you wanted to do both rebounds and assists for both M Bridges in this game, in this slate here today. But I'm just sticking with the assists for Mikal. I think we're going to see a good amount of those in their matchup with Milwaukee. No idea if Giannis is playing. We know Dame is out, so we'll see how that impacts things with Giannis. But I still think the Bridges assist is going to be a good look with no Deuce McBride, no campaign, and you're going to see Tyler Kolek out there a bunch for the Knicks, the Rook, who has had some pretty good assist games, by the way. I'm not really I'm kind of eyeing his assists as well. If I can kind of get a bit more of a minutes projection for him, I need to understand if he's actually going to be out there, or if in substitution of, say, like Deuce, who's not going to start anymore, maybe they're bringing in and just going big and playing with Precious or whomever. We'll see. Obviously, if Giannis is not out there, you don't really have to go as big. Now this team is much smaller. No Jericho Sims, no Brook Lopez. So either way, Mikal is going to get minutes. We know that. He's going to be up around 40. Tibbs is just going to keep running these guys into the ground. And when he's played without Jalen this season, he's at 4.5 assists per game without Jay Brunson. And some of that ball handling stuff went into the hands of guys like Campaign and Deuce McBride when Jalen wasn't around. Well, now neither of those guys are there. And this team really doesn't have a point guard outside of Tyler Kolek. And now you're going to start to see Point Mikal play a lot more minutes, right? When he's on the floor without Kolek especially, he's going to be the dude bringing the ball up. He's going to be the dude that's looking to start the offense and get it going. He's over in 7 of the 11 games at the 3.5 number here, where he's played without Jalen Brunson on the season for the Dimes, and those potential assists add up to about 9 per game. So if he's going to average about 9 potentials, and you're going to tell me he needs 4, and that's not even 50% of his potential assists turning into regular assists, then I got to take it against a Milwaukee team that's been pretty good at limiting the assists on the season as a whole. They're not bad by any means. In fact, they're much better against that. Against spot up, they're a little bit better than they are against pick and roll. So maybe you think guys like Mikal are going to score, but he's not scoring off of one-on-one play a lot these days. He's definitely off ball a lot more when he's scoring. So as someone who's going to be on ball a lot in this game, I think he's going to do a good amount of diming up. So we're looking at over 3.5 assists for Mikal Bridges. And that is all the time we have for you in this one. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Don't miss out on the best bets with some sides and totals looks that we have for you as well today. And until we see you next, happy betting.